steal.
Welcome, everyone. Join us today as we delve into the extraordinary life and career of the legendary musician, songwriter, and cultural icon, Rick James. From his chart-topping hits to his tumultuous personal life, get ready to explore the highs and lows of one of music's most unforgettable figures. So let's dive in. Rick James, born James Ambrose Johnson Jr. on February 1st, 1948, to James Ambrose Johnson Sr. and Mabel Sims in Buffalo, New York, United States of America. One of 8 children, James grew up immersed in music and religion, serving as an altar boy and choir member at St. Bridget's Catholic Church. His father, an auto worker, left when he was 10, leaving his mother to support the family by working multiple jobs, including as a cleaner and a numbers runner for the Buffalo crime family. Being the nephew of Temptations singer Melvin Franklin, James had music in his blood, embarking on his musical journey during his teenage years. At just 15, in an impulsive move to avoid later being drafted into the Army, he joined the U.S. Navy Reserve, only to go AWOL shortly after, seeking refuge in Toronto, Canada, in 1964. Whilst there, he encountered a pivotal moment outside a club when 3 men attempted to attack him, only to be thwarted by another group led by Levon Helm, a member of Ronnie Hawkins' backing band. Invited to join him on stage that night, James performed and later adopted the alias Ricky James Matthews to evade U.S. military authorities. That year, James formed band The Minor Birds, blending soul, folk, and rock. The band briefly recorded for Columbia Records Canada with single Minor Bird Hop and B-side Minor Bird Song. Nick St. Nicholas, who later found fame with Steppenwolf, was briefly a member of the band before being replaced by bassist Bruce Palmer. James and Palmer then recruited guitarists Tom Morgan and Xavier Taylor, along with drummer Rick Mason to form a new lineup. Shortly after, the band traveled to Detroit to do a recording session with Motown, but before recording commenced, Morgan departed as he wasn't happy with the label's treatment, with Neil Young stepping in to fill his place. Whilst in Detroit, James met Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder, his musical heroes. James, inspired by Wonder's suggestion, his name was too long, shortened it to Ricky James. In 1966, a financial dispute in Toronto revealed James's fugitive status with the Navy to Motown. Motown executives halted their collaboration and urged him to resolve his legal issues before continuing. James surrendered to the FBI, receiving a 5-month hard labor sentence from the Navy. After escaping confinement and surrendering again, legal assistance reduced his sentence to 5 months confinement. Upon release in August 1967, James faced further legal challenges, initially delaying his career's resumption with Neil Merriweather. In 1968, under the alias Ricky Matthews, James worked as a producer and songwriter at Motown, collaborating with notable acts like The Miracles and The Spinners. During this time, he met musician Greg Reeves, leading to their move to Los Angeles in pursuit of better opportunities. Although they initially worked as a duo, Reeves was ultimately hired as the bassist for Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Meanwhile, James formed various iterations of the rock band Salt and Pepa. In 1969, he missed a party at actress Sharon Tate's house as he was too hungover to get out of bed. The next morning, he discovered the carnage of what had happened at Tate's when he saw the Los Angeles Times headline, "Sharon Tate, 4 others murdered." In 1970, James contributed to Bruce Palmer's solo album and formed the group Heaven and Earth, later renamed Great White Cane. He also founded another band, Hot Lips, and briefly joined the Toronto blues band McKenna Mendelssohn Mainline, co-writing a song with guitarist Mike McKenna that was later released by the Chambers Brothers. James inked a deal with A&M Records in 1973, debuting as a solo artist with the single My Mama in 1974, which gained popularity in European clubs. Returning to Buffalo in 1976, James formed the Stone City Band and soon recorded his second single, Get Up and Dance. In 1977, he and the Stone City Band signed with Motown's Gordy Records, laying the groundwork for a debut album recorded in New York City. April 1978 saw the release of James's solo debut, Come Get It, featuring hits like You and I, and Mary Jane, propelling him to R&B stardom and revitalizing Motown's fortunes. His second album, Bustin' Out of L7, followed suit in early 1979, selling over 1 million copies, while his third album, Fire It Up, went gold later that year. James embarked on his first headlining tour, the Fire It Up Tour, and invited emerging artists Prince and Tina Marie as opening acts. After concluding his tour in 1980, James achieved further success with his ballad-centric album, Garden of Love, marking his fourth gold record. The pinnacle of his career came with the release of his best-selling album, Street Songs, in 1981, which showcased a blend of rock, new wave, and his signature crossover funk style, earning him the moniker Punk Funk. Featuring hit singles like Ghetto Life, the duet Fire and Desire with Tina Marie, Give It To Me Baby, and the iconic Super Freak, which became his biggest crossover hit to date. Street Songs topped the R&B charts and sold over 3 million copies in the US alone. James continued his streak with 2 more gold albums, Throwing Down in 1982 and Cold-Blooded in 1983. During this period, James also ventured into producing acts like Process and the Do-Rags, and the Mary Jane Girls, enjoying hits such as All Night Long, Candyman, and In My House. He further showcased his versatility by producing hits for others, including The Temptations, Standing on the Top, in 1982, and the duet Ebony Eyes with Smokey Robinson in 1983. In 1985, James produced Eddie Murphy's chart topper, Party All the Time, and made a guest appearance on the A-Team alongside Isaac Hayes. His musical journey continued with albums like The Flag in 1986 and Wonderful in 1988, after signing with Warner Brothers Records. James's rebellious persona often clashed with societal norms, particularly regarding drug use and sexuality. His promotion of marijuana during live performances, despite the legal risks, sparked confrontations with law enforcement. Even Motown executives were unaware that his song, Mary Jane, was actually about marijuana. James's overtly sexual image also hindered his mainstream success, as evidenced by MTV's rejection of his music video for Super Freak, which he attributed to racism. He then criticized MTV for favoring younger artists like Michael Jackson and Prince, labeling them as tokens. James faced further scrutiny when networks refused to air his video for Lucy's Rap, due to its explicit content, prompting accusations of hypocrisy given their acceptance of similarly risque material from artists like Madonna. In 1989, James released his 11th album, Kickin', exclusively in the UK, marking a shift in his career trajectory. By 1990, he faced personal and legal challenges, leading to the loss of his contract with Reprise, Warner Brothers. That same year, MC Hammer's smash hit, You Can't Touch This, sampled James's iconic Super Freak, prompting a legal battle over songwriting credits, which ultimately resulted in James and his co-writer Alonzo Miller receiving a Grammy Award for Best R&B Song in 1991. After his release from prison on assault charges, James made a musical comeback with his 1997 album, Urban Rhapsody, and embarked on a tour to support it. However, his momentum was derailed when he suffered a minor stroke during a concert in 1998. Despite this setback, he continued to collaborate, appearing on Ike Turner's Love Gravy for the 1998 soundtrack album, Chef Aid, the South Park album. James also ventured into acting, accepting a role in Eddie Murphy's comedy drama, Life, in 1999, showcasing his multifaceted talents beyond music. James experienced a career resurgence in early 2004, following his appearance on Chappelle's Show in a segment titled Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories, where he and Murphy shared amusing anecdotes from their 1980s escapades. Later that year, James supported Tina Marie's album tour, La Donna, and performed with her at various events, including the KBLX Stone Soul Picnic in Hayward, California. His final public appearance occurred at the 4th Annual BET Awards in June 2004, where he delivered a memorable performance of Song, Fire and Desire, alongside Tina Marie. James's battle with drug addiction, spanning from marijuana and heroin in his teens to cocaine in later years, took a toll on his health. Despite claims of quitting cocaine upon entering prison years prior, a small amount of the drug was found in his bloodstream during his autopsy. His substance abuse resulted in significant health crises, including hospitalization in 1984 after being found unconscious at his home. He had suffered a stroke after a blood vessel ruptured in his neck in 1998 during a concert at Mile High Stadium in Denver. Earlier that year, he underwent hip replacement surgery to address damage caused by his energetic stage performances and substance abuse. During the 1990s, Rick James's struggles with drug addiction were widely known, with reports indicating he spent around $7,000 per week on his habit for 5 consecutive years. In a disturbing incident on August 2nd, 1991, James and his girlfriend were arrested for assaulting and holding a woman against her will for several days while on a drug binge. Possibly facing life imprisonment charges, James's legal woes escalated when, while out on bail, he assaulted music executive Mary Sauger while under the influence of drugs once again. Convicted of both crimes, James served over 2 years in prison and lost a civil suit, ordered to pay substantial damages. Further allegations followed, including a lawsuit in 2020 dating back to 1979, although the suit was later dismissed. Personally, James had 2 children with singer and songwriter Seville Morgan. They had a daughter, Tienza, and a son, Rick Jr. During 1982 to 1984, he dated actress Linda Blair after reaching out to her upon reading her interview, where she called him sexy. Their relationship was tumultuous, marked by Blair's decision to terminate a pregnancy early on, a choice James was deeply saddened by. His hit song, Cold-Blooded, was inspired by their relationship. In 1989, James met Tanya Hijazi, and they began dating in 1990, eventually having their son, Tasman, in 1993. They married in 1996 after their releases from prison for separate assault charges, but divorced in 2002. James shared a close bond with Tina Marie, collaborating since 1979. Despite an engagement rumor, they remained friends and professional partners until his passing in 2004, deeply impacting Marie, who struggled with addiction afterward. Sadly, on the morning of August 6, 2004, Rick James was discovered deceased at his Los Angeles residence in the Oakwood Toluca Hills apartment complex, located just outside Burbank. He was 56 years old. His publicist, Sajata Murthy, announced that he passed away from natural causes. James succumbed to pulmonary failure and cardiac failure, linked to his ongoing health issues including diabetes, a stroke, pacemaker, and heart attack. The autopsy revealed traces of various substances in his bloodstream, including alprazolam, diazepam, bupropion, citalopram, hydrocodone, digoxin, chlorpheniramine, methamphetamine, and cocaine. However, the coroner determined that none of these substances or their combinations were at life-threatening levels. James found his final resting place at Forest Lawn Cemetery in Buffalo, New York, and there you have it. As we conclude our journey through the life and legacy of Rick James, a musical icon who left an indelible mark on the industry, we hope you've gained a deeper understanding of the man behind the music. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos on music's most influential figures. Until next time, take care, and bye for now.